Out of all the paint related jobs around the house, painting the kitchen was probably the most like labor intensive just because it's a lot more involved than just painting walls. You gotta clean the cabinet doors. There's the extra step of like priming it, whereas if you were just painting the walls, then a lot of paint nowadays has the primer in the paint already, whereas it's a separate step generally for cabinets. So yeah, it took quite a bit of time. If you're planning to do this, I would probably spend, I don't know, 2 or 3 weekends, like plan 2 or 3 weekends, and you have to go hard for those 2 or 3 weekends. Oh man, seeing all those patches in the bathroom. So the condition in the bathroom before, like it looked pretty bad. It looked like I don't know if it's mold, but like there were like these black specks all around the bathroom ceiling, and so that's where I um sanded it off to try to get rid of it. I'm not sure why I painted just the top part first. It's probably because I had the pole and I couldn't go down further with the pole, just because the bathroom was a really tight spot. So I just finished painting the front of the cabinets downstairs. First coat of paint for all the white ones down here. And I love how the duration paint, the paint like over time like evens out. So you can see like all the brush lines like after you finish painting. Yeah, once it starts drying, then it like evens out, and yeah, it looks really good. A lot better than when I started. So I'm gonna sand it, or June's gonna sand it, or someone's gonna sand it, and we will get that going. Also for today, I finished painting well, not the whole bathroom, but like the majority of the ceiling and the walls. The only part that I didn't do is this part. Oh, hello. This part right here. So yeah, not too bad. It does look a little bit weird right here because I painted like this part with the pole first, and then I painted like this bottom part second, so you can kind of see the line right here. So hopefully the second coat fixes that. But yeah, and then also we got the door done as well. So I think for either tomorrow I might paint the second coat of the kitchen cabinets, and I might finish the rest of this bathroom. All right. Yeah, I'm really glad I painted the doors instead of just buy new doors, because it would have been a lot more expensive. I think I already mentioned it before, but seeing the doors transform is like, oh, that really ties the room together. One of the mistakes I made was that I didn't sand the side of the door, because adding paint will add a little bit of thickness to the door, and that little bit of thickness does add up, and you won't be able to close the door normally. So what I would do before painting again is just sand the side off just a little bit, just to give a little bit of room for the new paint to get on the side. Here I was still new at the door, and it took forever to like reframe it and to get it to a spot where I can actually like close it. So here I'm like adjusting it and trying to get it to close all the way. Okay, just finished sanding these bad boys, and really tired because it feels so hot, because I think it's the humidity. It's only like 74 degrees, but the humidity like makes it feel like, I don't know, like 80, 90. So like the sweat can't evaporate or escape anywhere. So it feels like really groggy. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Maybe paint one side of the cabinets next. I could also paint the bathroom, but I'm gonna take a break because heat. Oh yeah, I think when I was sanding the kitchen cabinet doors here, it's pretty hot. This was during the summer, back in like August, I want to say August of 2022, and you can see how overgrown the backyard is. It looks a lot better now, of the time of this voiceover. January, or not January, February 2023. But yeah, backyard looks a lot better. Here I'm finishing off the bathroom. I think I either ran out of paint or I ran out of time in the other clip. So I'm just finishing it off. If you just do one layer of paint, you could still see the spots where I sanded. So if you put on the first paint, you're like, oh, this looks bad. You know, don't worry. The second paint will make it look a lot better. It was quite hard to cut around the bathroom just because there's so many corners. You gotta paint around the toilet, which was a pain. We did eventually take out the toilet so we can paint behind it. Shout out to my dad for taking out the toilet so that Chris can paint and finish the paint job in the bathroom. So it looks pretty good. And yeah, because there's so many corners, it just took forever to cut with the paintbrush. So yeah, it's a small room, but it probably took just as long as a regular bedroom to paint, I would say. And then with I think this is the first layer of urethane. I'm not sure. It's either the first or the second that I'm doing here. Yeah, I think it's really starting to come together at this point. And I'm glad because I was like done with the kitchen cabinets. Check out that finish. It's a little bit hard to see, but considering that I rolled this on, like, this looks fantastic. Let me show you a side-by-side comparison. So there is the emerald urethane. Like, I think it looks fantastic for being brushed and rolled on. And then let me show you what it looks like with just the first layer. So that is just the first layer. There. So there's the first layer with the duration paint. And then here's the second layer with the emerald urethane. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it looks great. Alright, just continuing the paint here. It was kind of hard to see, so I moved the lights here to surround the door to make it a little bit easier to see. And these lights are supposed to be for the garage, and so the color temperature for these lights, I think it's like 6,000 Kelvin or 7,000 Kelvin. It's pretty cool, which if you know me, I do not like cool light on the inside. I like that nice warm 3,000 Kelvin, 3,500 Kelvin in the inside. But for the garage, it's perfect since you're going to be working on the garage probably, or not. Either working on the garage in terms of like organizing stuff or working on the cars. So that 6,000 Kelvin is gonna be great. Also got to paint all the shelf doors, which again took a lot more time than I wanted to, just because there were so many of them upstairs. After that, I started to clean the inside of the kitchen cabinets, which I had some of the boys help out, which is super handy. And we started to use the polyurethane on the inside of the cabinets, which I think in retrospect is probably overkill, but maybe I'll be glad to have used the polyurethane or the urethane, not the polyurethane, the regular urethane. Uh, just because it's a lot more resilient versus the like duration paint or the super paint that we would use on the walls. But we didn't prime it, so I don't think it adhered to the cabinets on the inside very well, but it's fine. It's just the inside of the cabinets, like no one's gonna see it. It's just bowls and cooking stuff that's gonna live inside it. It's fine. I'm not sure what coat of paint this. This is probably the second coat of paint on the cabinets. Like it looks pretty much done, so that's nice. Let that to dry. I really liked painting the side of this cabinet because you can really see the grain of the wood through the paint. It was like really easy to see with that long piece of cabinet or like a really tall piece of cabinet. Here I told Chris like, hey, we gotta clean the garage because it's a mess. So spend a little bit of time doing that. Had Chris paint the pantry. I want to say this is the last coat of paint. I think he's cutting and rolling the second coat of paint. So that's nice right there. I think that's the last piece of vinyl, at least in the hallway, that we got out. And then over here, I'm cleaning the cabinets here, just making sure all the grease and the dirt and all that crap is off, and priming it so that we can get the paint on and that looks nice and uniform. I didn't paint the inside though. I figured like, oh, we could probably just stop at like the lip of where the cabinet door meets the cabinet. So I stopped there. We might paint the inside if it like smells really bad or if you have like extra paint. Otherwise, I think we're gonna leave it, or at least I'm gonna leave it. I don't know. Maybe Chris might want to paint it. He did start painting the inside of the drawers for the kitchen cabinets, just because of that old smell that you want to get rid of. I didn't really care, so I'm like, hey, it's up to you if you want to do it, and he decided to do it. So hopefully they don't smell as bad. Here I did a second coat of primer because again I wanted the paint to look very even. I don't know if you noticed in that last clip, but I forgot to prime like the little bottom corner of the right side of the dishwasher, and to this day, as of February 2023, that part is still not painted. So I don't know when we're gonna get to that, but we should probably get to that soon because we're gonna lay down the flooring for the kitchen pretty soon, and it'll be a lot easier to get that painted when the flooring's not there, because if paint like falls on the ground, like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just like the concrete foundation that's gonna get paint on. Whereas with the flooring, I don't know how easy it is to get paint off of luxury vinyl plank. So yeah, ideally I would like to get that done before the flooring gets installed. It might be easier to or it might be easy to get the paint off of the luxury vinyl plank. So I think we should be okay here. Here I'm cutting the rest of the kitchen here. I think the boys were helping, but I was doing like the top portion. You can see the inside is not done, so I don't know if the following clips are gonna have us doing the second coat on the inside, but we are gonna do it eventually. Oh, actually, I think what happened was that after the first coat, I was like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have used the urethane on the inside because it's probably overkill, and maybe that's why we didn't do the second coat on the inside. I think we're gonna do it later. I think that's what happened. Again, I'm trying to remember what I did, like, I don't know, like 6 months ago. So Yeah, so I think we're finishing it here with the urethane. Yeah, so no primer. We're just slapping it on. Just slapping it on. Here, why am I wearing my goggles? Interesting. Okay. Oh, Chris did the whole top part right here in the cabinets. I saw some units they actually just demo that and take the cabinets out, but since the kitchen is so small and there's not a lot of places to put stuff, I think it's worthwhile to just keep it. That's also less work. I've also seen other units like demo that wall on the left side to really open up the space. But again, I don't want to take out like a load-bearing wall. And plus that's more work, so I was like, I'll just leave it the way it is. Here we had like everyone on deck cleaning or painting the I guess we do end up painting the second coat on the inside. And that was really helpful because in the kitchen it has like a ton of nooks and crannies and corners and things you gotta cut. And so if you were to do it by yourself, it's gonna take forever, I would say. Yeah, so doing some more cutting here. Painting the backside. That gold trim, I didn't like that gold trim at first, but I think it works really well with the green. I think with the gold trim by itself, I don't think it looks that great, but when you pair it with the green, looks much better. Much better. Oh, so that door is so heavy. Like it's made out of solid wood. So I pulled my car out to paint it, and so I do that while Chris is finishing the kitchen. But yeah, I think the next episode, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna finish off the kitchen and maybe do the flooring next? Question mark. We'll see.